What's going on? Happy Monday and happy Holy Week. If you do not know what that is, this is the week leading up to the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And this has always been one of my most favorite weeks. Even as a small child, I remember growing up in Colorado, and we obviously didn't have palm trees, but I remember we would always make palm trees out of paper, and at Sunday school would bow them down and reenact Palm Sunday, and I just remember loving it as a child and being so tenderhearted towards this week. And so today I want to talk to you about a lot of stuff. The first is how to stay connected during this time, particularly with the empowerment program. As I've said, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jen, and I am the Director of Missions here at Influence Church, and I am honored and humbled to be able to have this job. Really, for me, it's been a calling that I have had probably my whole life, that I dismissed, and I was in sales, and I did fairly well in that. But God really said, hey, I want to call you to more. And so I've been in this role for about 7 months now, and I'm so honored and blessed to be able to do it. And so I want to talk to you about the empowerment program. I also want to talk to you today about finding victory in the midst of chaos, and how to battle our emotions and our fears. And so first, let's jump into the empowerment program. We are still doing a lot of really great things. The first thing that we're doing is that we are running errands for those who are over 70, have an underlying health condition, or are single parents. We believe that we need to come around and rally around those that are most vulnerable during this time. And, I was speaking to my dad about this because he said, gosh, Jen, I'm 65. I don't really feel like I'm at a huge threat. And I said, well, honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with our immune systems. And from what I'm finding out, one, doing research, two, going to my doctor, because I'm almost 32 weeks pregnant. And so we're having lots of doctor's appointments, it really comes down to our immune systems. And so we want to be there for those who their immune systems are struggling. Maybe you have health issues, or you're a single parent, and honestly, going to the store is just really difficult with kiddos. And so we are here to love on you, to surround you, and help out during this time. So if you need help with that, please email me at jen@influencechurch.org. Or if you would like to help run the errands, we would absolutely love for you to sign up. Same way, jen@influencechurch.org, or email us or DM us on here, and we'll get you connected. The second thing is we are still doing a big food drive slash gift card drive slash hygiene drive for our partners. We are going to take this week off since it's Easter, but we're going to resume the following week. But if you have canned goods lying around, non-perishables, if you have hygiene products that are new, or if you want to go to Target or the dollar store, anywhere like that, and get a gift card, you can also buy gift cards on Amazon. So if you're not wanting to leave the home, you can buy gift cards on Amazon and then email them to us. Those gift cards are going to go towards our partners at Teen Challenge, who are currently also on lockdown, but there are anywhere from 35 to 65 women in each home. And so they are very much crammed in tight quarters, and we want to make sure that they are able to keep their facilities nice and clean, and then protected during this time. So if you want to help out with any of that, please reach out to me. We will resume next week after Easter, and we are so excited. I want to thank you so much for what you guys are doing to help out. It has been a blessing. We've been able to feed so many families that are either living in motels or that are homeless. We've been able to really help in a lot of ways by cleaning supplies for those that don't have access to that, and also hygiene products for those men and women who are recently coming off the streets and need access to just clean hygiene. We know that the biggest thing that they keep telling us is to wash our hands, wash our hands, wash our hands. And so we want to make sure that we're able to provide that. The other couple things we're doing, one, if you want to lead a Bible study for our Teen Challenge, if you are a woman and you say, I want to lead a Bible study, I have no idea how to do that, Jen, how do I do it? You can record on your phone, literally in landscape like this, for 15 to 25 minutes of whatever the Lord lays on your heart, and then you email it over. We put it on a private YouTube channel for our Teen Challenge partners, and I'm telling you, they are just feeling so loved by this. We have gotten about 7 of them from you guys. Thank you so, so much, just in the last week. And they've been watching one every day, so they're out of them, and we need more. We want to replenish them with it. And so, like I said last week, if you lived to 65 women, you would want to be able to communicate with somebody other than just the women that you're all living in the same home with inside. Know that they would love to hear from you. Whatever the Lord lays on your heart, email me at jen@influencechurch.org and I'll get you plugged in. And then lastly, our Grandma's House of Hope. If you're not familiar with Grandma's House of Hope, they're a wonderful nonprofit organization that assists men and women coming out of homelessness. And we are doing a career development program with them. We've been doing it for the last couple months. And this month, I'm super excited. It is April 21st. So we host it the third Tuesday of every month. And you jump on Zoom for about 10 minutes. And this month's topic is finding skills and passions for your future. A lot of these men and women, they are coming out of homelessness. Either they have never really had a career they loved, maybe they've just had a job, or maybe they currently don't have a job, but they're looking for one. And so we want to ignite passion in them. And so how do you find what you're passionate about? How do you find really what God made you to do? And I think so many of us are also looking for that. And so it's a great way to be able to connect and say, hey, this is what I found, or I'm still searching, but this helped, and things of that nature. So if you want to get involved with Grandma's House of Hope in our career development for April 21st, email me at jen@influencechurch or DM me on here, and we'll get you plugged in. Well, I hope everyone is doing great. It is a rainy, chilly day here in Southern California, and it's funny, my husband and I were talking about how much more joyful we are when the sun's out. I think we would all agree, and no matter where we are in the world, I think we would agree that when the sun is out, there's something about the vitamin D that rains down on us that just brings joy. And it can be hard during the season when there's already so much joy that it has been is trying to be taken away from us. When it rains, we feel even worse, right? We're like, gosh, I just feel exhausted. I want to nap all the time, or I just want to eat donuts, or whatever it is, right? But it's amazing. I've been thinking a lot about joy and a lot about peace, but also a lot about fear and frustration. You know, my whole life I struggled with fear to the point that if you ever see me not in a long sleeve, you'll see I have tattoos about fear kind of written all over, because I need to remind myself not to be fearful. I remember as a little girl, my mom would come in and I would say, Mom, I'm scared. And she said, but what is the truth? And I would say, God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And I remember when most little girls would be counting sheep or dreaming about princesses, I would be going over and over and over in my mind, God has not given me the spirit of fear. God has not given me the spirit of fear. And fear has for most of my life reigned over me. I don't know if that's true for you, but it's definitely been a stronghold. And this year was a very difficult year for our family. And so I declared that March was going to be Miracle March. And I spoke at a conference here at Influence Church, and I asked the women to also proclaim over their life that March would be Miracle March. And then what happened? The coronavirus. What a time to have Miracle March during this outbreak. Am I right? You're like, okay, maybe April. But no, we continued to press in and believe that March was going to be a miracle. And what I needed miracles for were a few things. One, for some health things. Two, for my husband and I's finances. And three, the biggest, was for fear to just finally be released from my life. And that was the biggest one for me. I wanted that to be gone. And so you say, well, Jen, how did that work out for you in the midst of coronavirus? If you've been scared your whole life and fear has reigned your whole life, how have you been doing during the coronavirus with fear? And do you know what? God is so good and he is so faithful. This is the first time I can say in my 33 years of life that I have not lived in fear. I would say the last 2.5, 3 weeks, something has come over me, and I know that it's Jesus. I know that it's God. This peace has flooded me that I can't understand. And you know, in Philippians 4:7, it says, the peace that surpasses understanding, meaning that there is a peace that God gives us when we believe solely in him and nothing else, that is so out of this world that you can't comprehend how in the heck you have this much peace amidst everything going on. It says, I will give you peace that surpasses your understanding, that will guard your heart and your mind. So our heart and our mind are our two most valuable assets. When we go through a heartbreak, what happens? Our mind spirals of everything we should have done wrong, or everything we did wrong, or everything we should have done right, and our heart is broken. But God said, no, I'm going to protect your most two valuable assets, your mind and your heart, and I'm going to give you peace in both of those areas that you can't even comprehend. And this peace has been unreal. And you say, well, Jen, I want that peace. How did you get it? I'm just anxious. I'm fearful. I'm frustrated. And, I was on Facebook the other day, and I jumped on to do something for work. And the first three posts I saw before I hit over to influence was, I'm a mom of 4. I'm currently pregnant and a nurse, and I'm afraid when I come home that I'm going to give it to the baby that's growing inside of me or one of my children. The second was, I'm so angry because I own my own business and my wife and I can't pay our bills because I can't go to work. Should I just ignore the government and go to work? I need advice. What do? I have to feed my family. And there's so much frustration on one end and there's fear on the other. And you say, how does peace come to either of those? And how do I get that? And it really is a struggle because there are folks who have lost jobs. There are folks that can't go to work and can't make money, and you've filed for unemployment, and there's so many cases that you haven't heard back, or you've filed for small business loans and you haven't heard back, and there's this frustration in that. And then there's this fear of, well, gosh, like it's really attacking where I'm living, or it's so real, or I'm on lockdown, or what if we get it, or I'm one of the ones that they say is deemed really vulnerable for this virus. What do I do? And the biggest thing that I can tell you to do is 2 things. One, you have got to pray. You have got to pray. And I don't mean just when you're eating dinner. You have got to go to battle. My husband and I love football. We're big Denver Broncos fans. And I got to thinking about offense and defense. Right now, a lot of us citizens around the world are on the defense. We are trying to defend ourselves from getting this. We are trying to defend our finances. We're trying to defend our homes. We're trying to defend everything. But the truth of the matter is we need to go on the offense. We need to begin to move forward and move towards the goal. Move the ball towards the goal. And what do you mean by that? I mean that we get in prayer and we begin to move down the field towards the ultimate goal, which is peace, which is understanding, which is love, which is triumph, which is victory. And how we do that is in prayer. Instead of being on the defensive and trying to read everything we can on the internet and everything our friends are texting us on social media and everything that we're reading, and we're on this defensive of, well, I read this, so I'm going to do this, and I did this, and I'm going to do this, because you're defending yourself. We need to go on the offensive and say, no, I'm going to get in the word and I'm going to pray, because I know that that's going to bring me further down towards a victory. And we want victory this week with Holy Week. Jesus is our victor. He is the one that won it all for us. And I got to thinking about Holy Week. What can we learn from this week? What can we learn to help our families, to help ourselves battle this? And I want to encourage you to celebrate this week, to get into the Word of God. Open up your Bibles, maybe during dinner with your family. Sit around the table. Don't eat around the TV. Just sit around the table and begin to read in Matthew. You can start at Matthew 21, which is Palm Sunday, and you'll go all the way to Matthew 28. But begin to read what happened in that week with Jesus. There was everything from teaching to community, to questions, to dinner, to advice, to struggle, to pain, to confrontation, to uncertainty, to fear, to sadness. All of this in this week. Does that not sound like us? Does that not sound like our week? There is sadness and there's frustration, and we're asking God questions, and we're having dinner as a family, and we're in community as a family, and we're going through so much, and this is all leading up to the crucifixion and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And I think during this time we have got to lean into what we can learn. And I don't mean by the TV. I don't mean by the CDC or the WHO, which yes, we do need to be smart in our decisions and not naive, but we need to rely more on this book than anything else, because that TV over there, that phone is just exhausting, isn't it? And you're not going to find peace that you can't comprehend from that. You're going to find peace from the Bible. You're going to find peace from prayer. You're going to find peace from getting in a community that is uplifting one another and encouraging one another and saying, come on, we got this. I read this verse today. I want to encourage you in it. And I got to thinking about the crucifixion and Holy Week. And I got to thinking, God just said, Jen, who is on the throne in your life? Who's on the throne in your life? Who are you bowing down to? Who are you crucifying? Are you bowing down to fear? Are you bowing down to uncertainty? Are you bowing down to anxiety or worry? Are you bowing down to what the TV is saying, to anger? Or are you crucifying those things? Because I already won it for you. I already won the battle for you. I got on the cross and I died for you because I love you and I don't want you to have to go back to that. So crucify those things and realize that I am on the throne, that I have victory in this. And search me and seek me and find me. You know, it says in John 10:10 that the devil comes to kill, seek, and destroy. And I got to thinking about how right now he is seeking us out by instilling fear. He is trying to kill your careers. He is trying to kill your finances. He is trying to destroy the economy. He is trying to destroy your family, your unit. And that is when you say no. You have come to try to do that. But God. And maybe today you just need to write on a Post-it note, but God. Maybe today you need to write the whole verse. But listen, yes, this fool came to do these things. He came to try to kill me, destroy me, seek me out, bring me down. But God has the victory in this. And this is the great week to remember that. It is a great week to get into the word and remember who had the final say, who rose again, who is on the throne, who has victory over it. It is God. He knows what he's doing. Lean into the word. I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to text friends that maybe you've never texted before about God. I want to encourage you to call friends and speak life over them that maybe you normally would just talk about the virus. I want to encourage you to try to begin to go towards down the line on the offense, because at the end, when we score the goal in victory, it is going to feel so good. It's going to feel so good. And I want to encourage you in that. I also want to encourage you, lastly, how to find victory by battling your emotions. You have to know that this is a war. This is a war of our emotions. This is not just a healthcare war. Yes, that is a very big part of it. And it is a big part to do our part, to be healthy, to stay indoors, to wash our hands, to be smart, to use wise decisions. God gave us a brain for a reason. But so much of it is battling our emotions. And we have got to go to battle every single day. I want to encourage you to go to battle, to fight. A lot of us are feeling like the David in this Goliath story right now, where this seems so big and so crazy that there is no way we can defeat this Goliath, this giant, this COVID giant. But the truth is that God has given us all of the equipment we need to battle this. And when we as believers rise up, and say, no, I have the victory in this because my God is bigger, my God is stronger, my God is greater than anything thrown at me, you too will have victory. And we as believers need to rise up together and begin to encourage those, love those, get in our community however we can and support one another. If you can send gift cards, if there are food drives in your local area, try to bring them. However you can assist, they're watching. Everyone in the world is watching everyone else to say who's going to rise up and lead and who's going to cower in fear. And I want to encourage us as believers to rise up. Let us be the ones to rise up, to come together, to encourage, to love, to support, to pray, to just be one as a church. I'm going to leave you with a few verses. A lot of you have asked, are there verses I can look up to help me? The first is, if you want to pray for healing, James 5:14. If you want to pray for strength, 3 John 1 and 2. If you want to pray for provisions, whether that's financial or physical, Philippians 4:19. If you want to pray for peace, 1 Timothy 1:7, or also Philippians 4:7. And lastly, I want to leave you with this, Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you in my righteous right hand. God wants to strengthen you during this time. He wants us as believers to rise up and grow in our faith and grow in our knowledge and grow in our courage to testify that God is on the throne, that he is great, that he has redeemed us, and that he will ultimately win the victory in this. Hey, I love you guys. If you need help, if you need support, if you need prayer, if you need anything, please reach out to me at jen@influencechurch.org or DM us. We would love to connect with you. We love you. We are praying for you. Health, blessings, provisions, and peace in the name of Jesus. Amen. Bye, guys.